My channel to everyone who's new here, and of course to those of you who are back again. Great to have you here. In this video we will take a look together at possible scenarios for the price development of several altcoins. Things remain exciting, so make sure to watch until the end. You will also find another video on my channel where I analyze Bitcoin and Ethereum daily. That's definitely worth checking out too. And also worth checking out too is the crypto exchange mexc, which has a similar trading volume to Bitget and Bybit, just with far lower taker fees. And 100 pairs, zero fees just on mexc. Here you find popular coins you can trade without any kind of fees. And if you want to save another 20% on your trading fees, then hit the link in the video description. There you have my referral code. So I want to start with the Bitcoin dominance instead of XRP today. So what I have tracked here is a falling wedge, which broke to the upside. Yeah, we are still waiting for it for the confirmation, but it looks like a breakout to me, and also a possible double bottom pattern. So I think if we break the 63.55% to the upside, then we can easily get back into the top area here. What does that mean? That means that Bitcoin is going to outperform the altcoins. That's how it's going to look. So XRP. What I have tracked for XRP was a triangle which broke to the upside. We worked off that target. Good. We then got support here, broke that to the downside, got again support on the lower trend line of that triangle, broke to the upside, tried to get some support, and it looks like that we are also going to break that to the downside. Also, what we have built up since yesterday is a shoulder head shoulder formatation. If that breaks to the downside at currently $2.14, yep, then we are actually having at least one shoulder as target. If we put it to the breakout point, then we can get down to $2.08. Since the $2.07 aren't far away, I think that is just going to be a confirmation that this is our take profit for XRP. In that area, I'm going to take 50% out of my short trade. And if we also break the $2.07 to the downside, then it looks like that we are dropping probably to $1.96. Yeah, if that also breaks, then we have a fair value gap here. I have also marked this before with this arrow. If we break the $1.97 to the downside, then we have several fair value gaps to the downside, which are waiting to get closed, because bigger traders, companies, hedge fund managers, whatever you want to call, banks, and so on, if they want to do trades, they can't open a trade that easily like us. Yeah, we are not going in with millions and billions of dollars. Yeah, we are probably taking a few thousand position size maximum. Yeah, if maybe some people are just doing $100, $10 position size. So basically, if that fair value is getting closed and people are getting liquidated out and their stop loss gets hit, then they give the market the liquidity so the big players can get into the market. Yeah, so that's how it's usually working. And I think I have said everything I wanted to say. Yeah, for XRP, I have changed the rising wedge a bit differently. I don't like to change my rising wedge that often. Before it was like this. Still, we have 3 touch points, so this trend line is valid. The one before was even much more smoother in my opinion, and much more better. But yeah, that also counts as a rising wedge. If that breaks to the downside, yeah, then this fair value gap is going to get our target. So Dogecoin tried the break to the downside and failed. Yeah, we can see it here. We broke to the downside, we retested it. We retested it twice, came even a bit lower, but then we broke to the upside and are currently in a resistance. The green trend line is a resistance where we sold off quite often. And now we have to see, are we going to break the rising wedge again to the downside, having a second attempt? Then this scenario which I drew you here would happen, in my view, just on a later time. Yeah, I have drew that since here. Okay, I can just pull everything to the right side. And in that area between 14.9 cents to 15.4 cents, here it's going to get interesting, because what I have drew here is, are we going to hold a higher low in that area to the lows here on your left, or are we also going to break that to the downside? That's a question which I can't answer you yet. We have to look into the overall crypto market and also on Dogecoin for sure. But once we get into that area, we will track it then there. So nothing much more to say about Dogecoin. We have a huge resistance over us, which we are not breaking to the upside. I can actually get this box out and draw a new one. So this area is going to get very interesting, because whenever we get into that area, we get rejected. For Dogecoin, if we want a breakout, then we have to wait for the 16.99 cents, so basically 17 cents. Then we have space to the upside for sure. But as long as we keep failing in that area and building up lower highs, which we are doing at the moment. This one here is a high. This one here are lower highs. If it keeps going and the next push to the upside, I can take this one a bit far away. If we get down again, get another push into that area, and we build up another lower high, then I think my scenario is going to happen with a higher chance for Dogecoin. So Solana is the only coin which looks more bullish than the other coins. Yeah, even Render, where we have said it's the most bullish coin at the moment, struggles a bit. I have tracked here a possible bull flag or a panel, which we broke to the upside. We also got over the resistance $130 again. Now we are in the retest. I think here it's getting decided. If we drop again, then the chances are very high that once we break the, I think now $126. Yeah, currently $126, but for sure, depending on when we are going to break it to the downside, the price will move to the upside. But still, we have down to 120 US dollar. A lot of fair value gaps to get closed, and also one of our best supports. Right here, around about $119.50, but we can also take a zone here. Like this one is looking very interesting, this area, because here we got rejected, here we got rejected, here we got support, here we got rejected, here we got support, and yeah, a few times in rejection. So that area is going to get interesting. That would also be a take profit area for me, where I would say, okay, in that area I'm going to take 50% out of my Solana short trade. If we break that to the downside, then I'm going to keep my Solana short trade, the other 50%. If we move to the upside, then I would set a stop loss at break even and get stopped loss break even. So basically I have just taken 50% in profits and the other 50% with plus minus zero for Solana. If we would get over 134 US dollar again, those tops here, if we get over it, then it looks very good to me that Solana is going to have a nice push to the upside. Cardano. For Cardano, yeah, Cardano didn't do much. We are still in the panel. If we break that to the downside at currently 64 cents, 64.4 cents, then we would get the first sign of bearishness. But what I have also tracked is a rectangle. Yeah, if we break that to the downside, which is currently at 64 cents, and that's the price mark which I would wait for. If we break that to the downside, then we take the spread of that whole rectangle, put it to our breakout point, and we can get down to 61.5 cents. But for sure, if we break that to the upside, means the 66.6 cents, then we take that spread to the upside, 69 cents would be our target. Yeah, so depending on where Cardano is going to break out, for sure the other cryptos will also do most likely the same direction. But yeah, that's how I'm going to do it with Cardano. I would use that support here, which is slightly over the fair value gap. I would use this as take profit. And the other 50% of my trade, I'm going to try to get it to 58.6 cents. If it's not going to happen, then I can get stopped out, break even with Cardano. So I have said render is a bit weaker and struggles. You can see it. We topped out. It looks like that we topped out. If we go into the past, we have seen the first push to the upside. Then we went sideways. Another push to the upside. Then we went sideways. Another push to the upside. And here we are far more overlapping. Yeah, here we didn't got a push to the upside. We got a chart structure which is very overlapping. And here was the breakout. Broke to the downside to the $3.82, retested it again, and we are currently now at $3.82 again. If that breaks to the downside, then we can drop down to $3.65 for render. I'm also in the render short trade, a small one, good in profit. Yeah, it's currently my best performer, since the other coins I have taken short trades before, then they went up a bit more and more. I have put more money into it, increased my leverage a bit more. Yeah, that's very good if you are flexible with your money. Like if you're already in with the 10x leverage, then it would have been the liquidation, but you couldn't have put in more money to get your average price higher, and that's what is actually good for a short trade. So I don't think that we are going into the area between $4.11 to $4.16, but I've also said I'm not going to long it anyway, even if we break to the upside, because the fair value gap here, yeah, makes me a bit afraid of getting into long positions. And also we have some fair value gaps here. So basically I'm not looking for long positions for render at the moment. I think gains had been done before. I think render did a 60 to 65% pump since that low here. We can look again into it. From the low here to the top, 62%. So it's time to get a correction to the downside. I would say we have the potential to get up down to $3.47 for render. But for sure, first of all, we have to break certain price marks to the downside before we even can get bearish for render. Once we break the $3.47, then I think the fair value gap is going to get our target for render. So ONDO didn't do much as well. Still in a rectangle, similar to yesterday, not even similar, the same. I think that ONDO is struggling at the moment because we have wicked lower than that support here a few times and tried to break it to the downside. It didn't happen. Now we are getting a sharp selling. So if the 87 cents breaks to the downside, then I think the fair value gap is going to get our target. And I think we have the potential to drop to the support 84.3 cents. which you can see here, support, and that would also close the whole fair value gap. And then we have space to the upside if the crypto market wants to go up next week. If not, then we have also fair value gaps, where I'm very afraid of to jump into a long position for ONDO at the moment. I think that this whole up move looks to me finished, because if we use, for example, the elite wave, then we can say it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves with an A overshooting B, and now we are getting the C correction, and then we can get the nice price pump to the upside. Yeah, I'm not a specialist for elite wave, but I think that is kind of valid what I said. It looks like it to me, because I can track here perfect 5 waves to the upside. And now we have to see if the 87 cents breaks to the downside. 82.8 cents would be the target of that rectangle. Right here we take again the spread of the rectangle, put it to our breakout point, 82 cents. If we are really getting lower than 84 cents and not getting support at 82.8 cents, if we really lose the 82.8 cents, then this fair value gap is going to get our target. Yeah, but it's, let's say it's a game of if then. If we break it to the downside, then with a higher chance we can close the fair value gap. As I see now, it looks like that we are going for the first fair value gap for ONDO. So for SUI we have tracked a rising wedge which broke to the downside, which got the retest, and here was the follow through in the end of the day. Okay, we came up a bit more, but now we have a sharp selling to the downside. So the target of that rising wedge would be the $2.20 to $2.22, where we also have a small fair value gap, but I don't see support in that area. The next support which we have is at $2.16. So I think SUI has space down to $2.16. If we also break that to the downside, then I would be very careful with SUI, because SUI has then more potential to the downside. If we break it to the downside, then we have here a red trend line, which is actually a trend line which tells us, okay, the higher low structure. If we get down here and get a nice push to the upside, then we would hold a higher low on the bigger time frame. If we lose that, for sure, it might be possible that we go for the fair value gap and we are just getting a quick wick to the downside. Might be possible, then it wouldn't be a sustainable breakout. But if we really get a sustainable breakout for SUI, then I actually think that SUI has so much more potential to get another low. I don't see it at the moment because, like I said, we didn't break it to the downside yet, and the cryptos are currently stronger than expected. But if SUI is breaking the $2.06, in addition the fair value gap as well to the downside, then all the other cryptos probably broke also to the downside. And then we have to think about a more bearish trend which is then upcoming. But for now we can't say it 100% precise. So I will just keep the price mark here. Look how fast we are setting off. It looks like we can try to look at in 2 or 3 minutes after we have talked about HBAR, if we close that fair value gap, if we are getting a pump to the upside. So, HBAR is also on the target. What got built up since the video of yesterday, I've done the video here, my analysis right here. And I have tracked here the shoulder head shoulder formatation, which is the bearish one, with the price target of 16.5 cents. Now we are selling off again. Yeah, and it might be even possible, okay, since it just happened right now, this can be just a wick and we can buy it quick up and get over it. But if we also break that to the downside, and that's not looking good to me. I'm not sure what is going to happen right now. But if we also break that to the downside, for sure, that candle is big right now. So if it's get bigger, then we can get a pullback to the upside. But then the 15.3 cents are going to get my target. Because we have said this on the right side is a shoulder head shoulder formatation. Target got hit, I can take it out. But this whole thing here is a rectangle or triple top pattern, however you want it. It's in the end the same target, and that's exactly the 15.4 cents. That would close our fair value gap completely. But once we break that to the downside, where can we have support? 14.3 cents. But do you see anything else which can give us good support? Maybe the 13.6 cents, this one here. This one would be also interesting. But that's not the best support which we have. We can zoom in. And you can see that we had support here twice. Not even 3 times. And here a rejection. But yeah, where should HBAR go? It's not looking good. I think every coin sold off just now with this wick. Okay, SUI looks like that it's going to get a bounce. In that fair value gap we have to see. But we get some pressure to the downside still. Yeah, we have to look at it. Let's look about the coins. Okay, Solana also not looking good anymore. Cardano. Yeah, we have said 64 cents just now. Broke to the downside. Okay. Since everything broke right now during my video to the downside. If you watch this video, look for this. We have, for example, let's take Cardano for example. We have Cardano. Let's assume Cardano is going to drop more. Since the exchange isn't a one-way street, okay? We will get up again. And at 64 cents, if you want to get into a short trade, here could be a possibility with a stop loss over that green trend line. And then you can try to ride this to the downside. But also keep in mind, if we now drop to the 61.5 cents, where we also have the target of the rectangle, and then get to the upside, then I wouldn't get into another short position, because it might be just possible that we are getting another pullback and then break everything to the upside. The candle also closed. I haven't looked on the time. I think it's going to get a longer video right now, but it's just a 50 minutes candle. We have to look for the 1 hour chart. If the 1 hour candle also closed lower than that, I thought it was the 1 hour candle which closed. Yeah, then it's not looking positive. Yeah, we can also look about other coins. Yeah, XRP is also going into our target as it seems. Dogecoin tries to break it to the downside. It looks like that we are going to break everything to the downside. So basically all the cryptos ain't looking good. Probably we are going to have the same like we had a few weeks ago, where we were close to the weekly candle close on the Sunday and we sold off. And the Monday is also going most likely to get red. Yeah, I think tomorrow won't be a good day. And I don't think that we are going to have higher prices on Monday. ONDO is holding support, but still fair value gap also almost got closed. 50% got already closed. So I hope that I gave you some valuable information, and also We are currently in the break to the downside. Awesome. So I could show you how I'm going to trade it. I'm already in short positions, and I would wait for a pullback to the upside to increase my position size. I will now look after this video if I'm going to take some profits out, like for example 20% out of the market, because SUI, for example, already hit the target. Looks like that we are going to drop more. If we do, then I will keep my trade. But if we get now a bounce, then I would say, okay, I can take out 20-25% out of my trade and rebuy that once we get to the green trend line again, which is currently, for example, the $2.27. And that's how you can actually trade it to be a bit safe. I won't jump into a short position right now. Okay, so we see each other tomorrow, and let's see if tomorrow's going to be a red Monday. And I keep you updated tomorrow. Tomorrow I can also try, if something certain happens into the market, then I can try to get a bit earlier online and publish my videos a bit earlier, so you don't have to wait that much. See you tomorrow.